Australia's big four banks poured billions into tech last year. Commonwealth alone put in about 2.5 billion, more than any other bank in the country. And your fees didn't move a cent. Commonwealth Bank built an AI system to take phone calls, made 45 people redundant, said it was going great. Then the union pulled the actual call records. Turns out the whole thing was a disaster. People kept ringing back, the hard calls piled up, and managers were stuck covering phone shifts. So the bank backed down, apologised, and gave all 45 people their jobs back. Right, so which version of that bank do you actually deal with? The one spending billions to get smarter? Or the one that just sacked a bunch of people for an AI voice bot that didn't even work? Both. The answer's both. They're both true at once, and the gap between them is where your money lives. Here's the shape of it. A few questions nobody's answering, and then what the four banks are really building and what all of it means for the account you'll log into tonight. This is Regular's AI content in Australian context. No hype, no doom, just signal. Usually I'm out here translating something out of America for the rest of us. Not today. Today, it's entirely ours. The four banks every single one of us deals with, and what they're doing with AI behind the scenes. Let's go. 4 questions. I'm not answering them yet. I just want them to marinate in your head for a bit. First, all that money, billions of it, where's it actually going? Your bank app might get a little bit slicker, sure, but that kind of money buys a lot more than a nicer login screen. So what's it buying, and is any of it actually going to benefit you? Second, the union thing. 45 jobs, gone, then back again. Why did the union win that one? Banks don't back down, but they did here. What was in those call records that was bad enough to make a bank reverse itself in public? Third, fraud. There's a case, a big one, over $1 billion, the one Commonwealth Bank reported to the police itself, where the accused criminals allegedly used AI to forge the paperwork for massive fake property loans. And the same banks are using AI to catch fraud. So which is it? Is this stuff making your money safer? Or did it just hand criminals a better set of tools? Maybe both. Fourth, and this is the one underneath all of it. You bank with one of the four. That's it. That's the whole market. If you don't like how your bank does AI, where exactly are you going to go? To answer any of that, you need to know what they're building. So let's open it up. Quick thing first, if you want to stay up to date with AI in Australia, this channel does one of these videos every Friday. Hit like and subscribe so you won't miss it. Okay, there are 3 things a bank does with AI. Just 3. They cut costs, they catch criminals, and they do their absolute best to keep you as a customer. Let's take them one at a time. The first thing AI does in a bank is the call center. That's where the people are, and people cost money. So when you ring up, they'd love an AI voice bot to pick up first and sort you out before a human ever has to. CBA built one, called it Bumblebee. They've got this bee theme with names. It's ridiculous. But anyway, the pitch was beautiful. The bot's going to handle 2,000 calls a week. We don't need 45 of our current employees. Off you go. Except the bot couldn't do the job. People rang in, it fumbled them. They rang back a lot fucking angrier. The complex calls, the ones the robot was never going to handle, banked up. And the managers ended up on the phones doing the work the 45 redundant employees used to do. So the union pulled the records, took it to the Fair Work Commission, and CBA had to stand up in public and admit, yeah, we got that wrong, and handed 45 jobs back. Here's the lesson. The savings got counted before the AI system worked. 45 people were gone on the strength of a number on a slide deck. That's the move. Book the win early, sort out reality later. Keep it in your back pocket for segment 3. Now, and credit where it's due, this one's properly good for you, no asterisks. Real-time fraud detection is the one part of all of this that actually protects your money. CBA's got a team called Pollen running AI bots from a group called APAT. And these bots do something I reckon is genuinely clever. When a scammer's working a phone number, the bot rings them and plays victim. It'll talk like your auntie. Broad accent, a bit confused, takes the bait. And while the scammer thinks he's reeling in a mark, the bot's quietly lifting the details that will shut him down. His crypto wallets, his mule accounts. More than 270,000 of these conversations have happened so far. Robots wasting scammers' time so they can't get to you? Love it. But, and you know there's always a but, the same tech cuts both ways. Early this year, CBA found something and called the police. A suspected billion-dollar home loan fraud. The allegation, and it is an allegation, nobody's been convicted, is that the suspected criminals used AI to generate fake payslips and tax returns. Documents so clean, so machine perfect, they sailed straight through the bank's checks. So sit with that. AI is defending your account. AI is also forging the paperwork to rob the bank. The same tool. And you're standing in the middle of an arms race you never signed up for. Finally, the bit you actually touch. The app. The little nudges. The we notice you might like. And NAB's the one to watch here. They've built a thing called the customer brain. It watches about 2,000 different signals about you and runs 50 million customer interactions a month. It's not advertising at you. It's subtler. It's waiting for a moment. Like the moment you're thinking of moving your home loan. So you log in and download 6 months of statements to send off with the application. You haven't told NAB a thing. You've just downloaded some PDFs. But the brain knows exactly what that means. People who pull their statements are people about to leave. And before you've even filled in the other bank's form, your phone buzzes. A better rate, just for you. Funny that. They've held on to $92 million in term deposits doing precisely that. Pinging people right before the deposit rolls over. It feels like a service, but it's more like a seatbelt that locks when you try to leave the car. Now, a quick lay of the land, because the big four aren't all in the same place. Commonwealth's miles ahead. 4th in the world on the big global AI rankings for banks. The only Aussie bank up there with the Wall Street giants. They hired themselves a chief AI scientist and a chief AI officer. ANZ's basically handed the keys to Microsoft. They built a whole AI centre with them in Melbourne and are using it to swallow up Suncorp, while also announcing up to 3,500 jobs will be cut over the next year. Though their boss insists AI isn't really the reason. NAB's quieter, but their customer brain is the sharpest tracking machine and most focused use of AI of the lot. Poor old Westpac, they're just trying to play catch up. They poached Commonwealth's data boss, put 35,000 staff on Microsoft Copilot, and are mostly just trying not to fall behind. 4 banks, 4 speeds, 1 playbook. So what does it mean for you? Because that's what really matters, and that's what this video is about. Here's the read you're not getting anywhere else. Forget whether AI works, because at this point, it mostly does, excluding Bumblebee. That's the wrong question. The question that matters is this. When a bank saves $1 with AI, where does it go? Does it reach you in the form of a lower fee or a better rate? Or does it stop at the shareholder? I'm going to call that the pass-through test. Does the value pass through to the customer? Or does it stop? Hold that against everything, and the bank story gets very clear very fast. So let's run. The savings. The banks are saving a fortune. Fewer staff, voicebots on phones, back office on autopilot. Has your everyday banking gotten cheaper? You already know it hasn't. Their profit margins have sat rock steady and fat right through this. Commonwealth's posting billion-dollar quarters while it cuts jobs. And complaints to the financial ombudsman just hit a record. 111,000 of them, up 14% in a year. Record profits, record complaints. At the exact moment, the tech was meant to make it all cheaper and smoother. The savings are real. They're just not coming through to you. Pass-through failed. And don't forget, you can't just walk. There are 4, and they all run the same play. There's no 5th bank that quietly worked it out and passes the savings on. Now, there's a bloke worth knowing here. Joel Gibson. He writes books on cutting your bills. His line is simple. Banks charge a lazy tax. Stay loyal, don't kick up a fuss, and you'll quietly pay more than the new customer who you haggled. And AI makes the lazy tax sharper because now the bank can work out to the dollar exactly how much it can charge you before you actually bother leaving. The loyalty you thought was a relationship is a data point. The fraud defense. This one passes. It protects you properly. But notice what it's built on. To spot the scam, the bank reads everything, every payment, every odd little pattern in how you move your money. We hand that over for protection. Fair enough. But the same picture of your life is what powers the nudge machine that keeps you from leaving. You gave them the data to keep you safe, but they're also using it to keep you put. Nobody asked you about that second part. The jobs. Real, brutal, and uneven. ANZ alone, up to 3,500 roles. Across all four, thousands more. And the union's line cuts through it. The banks are trying to dress up job cuts as innovation. Some of it's genuine automation. Some of it is using AI as a respectable word for a redundancy that we're going to do anyway. The 45 at CBA proved that. Sacked for a voice bot that couldn't do the work. And the sovereignty bit. This one's almost cheeky. The bank bosses are out giving speeches about sovereign AI. Australia's building its own, not renting brains from overseas. Sounds patriotic. Here's the catch. The four banks all run on American engines underneath. Microsoft, OpenAI, Anthropic. Anthropic just became the most valuable AI company on the planet. And our own government signed a deal to use its data to track the Australian economy. There's a video linked on the screen if you want the full story on that. So when your bank tells you it's building sovereign Australian AI, what's really happening is they're renting the engine from America and bolting an Australian badge on the front of it. Real argument, also completely self-serving. Run the test 5 times and you fail at 4. That's the real value. It mostly stops at the shareholder. That's the story. So what do you actually do about it? 3 things, not theory. 1. Find what your bank's already switched on for you. Nearly all of them have quietly turned on a chatbot and some kind of scam alert, and most people have never tried to find it. Open your app, go into the settings and security, switch on every fraud alert they offer. That bit of AI is free and it's on your side. Use it. 2. Track what you pay your bank right now. Account fees, your home loan rate, the lot. Stick it in a note or a spreadsheet on your phone. The entire business case for all this spending rests on the savings going somewhere. So over the next 12 months, watch whether a single cent of it comes to you. If your fees don't budge while their profits climb, you've run the pass-through test yourself and you've got your answer. 3. Notice what gets easier and what gets harder. Checking a balance, paying a bill, that'll get smooth as silk because the bank wants you on the cheap automated rails. But the day something actually goes wrong, you're in hardship or there's a charge you're certain you didn't make or you're trying to get a business loan across the line. Notice how much harder it is to reach a human who can actually fix it. The simple stuff is being polished. The hard stuff, where you need a person with real authority, is where they've quietly pulled the humans out. And that's not an accident. That's the design. So look, none of this means the banks are evil. And none of it means AI is the villain. The tech is real, and some of it really helps. The point's narrower than that, and it's this. The savings are real, and right now, they're not yours. That's the whole reason the pass-through test exists. So you can stop asking, is this AI good? And start asking, good for who? Run it on your own bank. The answer's already in your statement. If this was useful or you found it interesting, hit like and subscribe. One of these videos every Friday. Australian AI content, no spin. I'll see you later. If this one landed, go watch the video on your screen about data centers and who pays the power bill for all this AI. Same story, different bill. The build out cost a fortune and someone quietly always ends up paying for it. That's your next watch.